All right, Facebook, round 3 for the day. I'm Dan here at Crosse Archery. We are here with Mystery Ranch and with Alex. Alex, tell the customers on the camera here what you do at Mystery Ranch.
Sure, I've been at Mystery Ranch for about 5 years. I'm a product designer for Mystery Ranch. I primarily work on the hunting category, so a lot of these are kind of packs that I've touched and worked on over the past few years.
All right, so Mystery Ranch at Crosse Archery, we're new to packing, to frames, to bags, to higher end level like Mystery Ranch. Can you tell us company history, background of the company, how it got started, things like that?
The company was founded by Dana Gleason. He's been building backpacks for quite a few years. Started with Clutterworks, moved on to a company called Dana Designs. Now he's working with Mystery Ranch. Mystery Ranch itself kind of got its start in the military realm, working with special operations and that sort of thing. Also got involved into wildland firefighting, as well as the outdoor industry, and then eventually got into hunting. And the story of getting into hunting is kind of interesting. He was developing packs for elite operators, that were getting airdrops from the Air Force or whoever was giving them sustainment gear, and they needed a way to package pelican cases and ammo crates and odd shaped objects into their packs so they can actually go out on patrols and stuff like that with it. There's some guys in the office that found out that technology worked really well for carrying elk quarters. So that was kind of how it wasn't by choice that we got into hunting, it was kind of by necessity. Fast forward, here we are a few years later, and we've got a fully built out hunting line starting on that principle.
So as you guys can now tell, I'm wearing a Mystery Ranch pack. Alex, would you be able to kind of walk us through what the one I'm wearing, what it looks like? There's straps all over me, and then I've got a blue rifle on my shoulder. Kind of show everybody what we're looking at, how it works, why it works.
So the pack that Dan's got on right now is one of our guide light packs. It's one of the new packs that we have. It's called the Sellway. It's a 65-liter pack, and it's actually just about 5 pounds. So it's a pretty lightweight pack, but it's on the same frame and harnessing system that we use throughout a lot of our hunting line, all the way up to our 100+ liter Marshall, which is our huge expedition bag. We actually use a very similar system, in all of our military bags and everything. They all kind of, they're built on a similar chassis. One of the mantras at Mystery Ranch is, we build some of the best load carriage gear in the world. So we kind of take that and we build a pack from that mantra. And that mantra kind of, it starts with the chassis that we're building the pack off of. So the pack that you're wearing right now, that chassis is that external frame. One of the things that you have on your back here is a telescoping yoke system, right?
Where am I going?
That's fine. I could show on a different pack, just like this. So we've got a telescoping yoke system that can slide in and out of this slot here. What that allows us to do is give a custom fit to anybody that's wearing the pack. So people being, different shapes and sizes, they have different torso lengths. And instead of making a one size fits most frame size, what we're doing is we're actually using some of these elements that we can, expand or contract to fit those people in almost a custom form. And it's actually pretty simple. What we do is we actually lift this tab behind the yoke there, and we have an adjuster tool. This adjuster tool, you can pull out sometimes.
Live TV is the worst. There we go.
There we go. So you can see that that's got a curve to it. And that's what curves to the top of your shoulders. So that's what's conforming to your body. And in order to adjust this yoke, what we're going to do is we're going to take that adjuster tool and we're going to slide it and break the Velcro back behind that yoke body. So for a taller guy, we just simply slide that yoke out, pull the adjuster tool out of the yoke, stick it back in the slot right behind the yoke system there, drive that in, and we've just adjusted the pack to fit a taller individual. So it's a very customizable framing system, which allows us to fit people very comfortably and have the load actually transferred to the body in a very efficient manner. So most of our hunting bags are on the guide light system, which is an external frame. And I can actually pull this off real quick, show you that. So this is actually the frame system. Again, it's kind of born off of a military frame system that we've, kind of started cutting holes in, making it a little bit lighter. We don't have the same exact demands as the military does, so we have a taller load lifter panel. We're using all carbon stays,
okay.
To lighten that load up. And it's also kind of dynamic. The frame has the ability to twist a little bit, but vertically is very rigid.
Okay.
So with the heavier loads, the frame won't buckle, but as you're walking, it'll move with you a little bit.
Okay. So it's not super rigid. You're
right.
feeling it on your shoulders when you're
exactly. So same frame system again for most of our hunting packs. Anywhere from like a small day pack throughout some of our really big packs. And the really neat thing about that is it doesn't matter how long of a duration you're going out. You get the same load carriage capacity through all of those bags.
Okay. So can you tell me a little bit about this, the rifle that's on my shoulder?
Sure. So along with that frame system, we have several accessories, one of which is this rifle sling. At first glance, a lot of guys see it as a normal rifle sling, but there's a couple cool little things that we've done there.
As you guys can see, I'm not holding on to the rifle whatsoever, and it hasn't moved since we started the video.
Right. So one of the key things to point out is you've actually got a bracket back here that straps to the waist belt that prevents the rifle butt from sliding forward. I mean, I don't know how many times you've been out in the field and you've had that rifle just keep slinging forward on you. So you actually put your thumb into your sling to keep the rifle from rocking forward. The other thing we did is we incorporated a chest strap that runs right across the front of your body. So that way you can not only have the rifle not sling forward, but you can also cinch it across your body. Locks it in place so you can use trekking poles. If you're scrambling, you can glass. A lot of cool things there.
And then I noticed with this, I mean, if I was to take it out, I can. I mean, I don't know when, but it's going to hang there, right?
Sure.
It's going to stay there.
Yeah, if you take a digger and your rifle falls out, it's no big deal because this is a pretty cool piece of hardware that we have there.
How do I get this off?
So there's a little tab on the front here.
Okay.
And you can go ahead and just pull on that tab. All right, but you see you have tension.
Yep.
That's a cool feature about this buckle. If there's any tension on that buckle, it will not release. Okay. So you have to relieve tension, then you can pull it and it pops right out.
And then it's good to go.
Yep.
Or I saw a guy earlier, he was using it kind of like a tactical sling almost. He came up and with that pressure against him, it's almost like shooting off a bench.
Right.
I mean, if you're shooting with your run and gun kind of thing, shooting with your bag
a lot of guys have been trained to wrap their arm through that sling. The kind of cool thing is that additional strap kind of behaves like that arm wrap. And you can actually cinch that gun stock back into your shoulder by tightening that sling.
So a lot of our guys in the shop, right, we have some Western hunters in the shop, right, so this system would work well for them. Some of the bigger systems we've got over here, we've got some huge bags that you're looking at 5-6 days worth of stuff in there. We also have a lot of whitetail hunters in our shop.
Sure.
What kind of bags are we looking at? Is there a kind of a silver bullet for a whitetail and a Western hunter, or are we looking at a whitetail bag that we're making what can we look at for a whitetail hunter?
Yeah, so
in the tree?
Like you said, we're typically known as a Western brand. But some of the technologies that we work with are actually kind of applicable to that to the whitetail hunting industry. One of the things is that external frame system.
Yeah.
So we typically use the overload system to carry elk quarters or to carry camp in or something like that.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've found is a lot of guys will actually use that space to sandwich a tree stand in between the bag and the frame.
Okay.
So, and then you can run your compression straps back over the top of that, cinch your tree stand right down to your back. Then you even have buckles on the front. So if you wanted to, you could carry your tree stand and your bow on your back. That way you have,
free range.
Yep, exactly. So there's a couple crossover items that, especially for guys that they do mostly whitetail hunting, but like once a year, once every couple years, they get to go, out west and go on a big mule deer or elk hunt.
Yep.
A bag like this is a really cool option because they can use it in both spaces.
Both spaces,
yeah. Something else that's new for us this year.
Do I have it on?
It's gone. It's gone.
Is it?
Something that's new for us this year is the treehouse. It's actually getting shown right now. It's been a popular item this year. Hey, Chris, can I grab that from you? This is the treehouse, which is a new addition for us this year. It's kind of our first foray into the whitetail category. But again, it all starts with that same chassis that I was telling you about earlier.
Same adjustability up and down?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The belt system's a little bit different than that external frame, just because, you know, if you're going out for a day in the stand, you don't need that, you know, 100+ super burly, you know, belt system. So this is a little bit nicer, but it actually has the same yoke.
Okay.
So it's, you know, weight rating as far as the yoke's concerned it's the exact same.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. There's a couple straps that run across the front. You know, just click together. And those straps are long enough to carry a stand on the front.
Okay.
Or you could strap a bow. I know some guys like to carry their stand like on a sling, you know, but strap their bow to their pack.
Okay.
So it's a nice versatile option to, you know, kind of behave that way. Couple of stretch woven pockets, one on the front and one on either side.
Okay.
Great for water bottles or, you know, throwing a hat or some gloves or something like that in there. We have a nice big lid. You know, again, you could throw, you know, some other little pieces of equipment or gear in there. The lid does attach with buckles on either side. Primarily, that's kind of to batten down the hatches, like if you're getting some serious weather or if you're hiking in. But we know that guys don't really want to mess with buckles when they're in the tree.
Yep.
You know, they're loud, they're kind of finicky, especially if you're wearing gloves. So we've incorporated a hook on the front.
Okay.
So if you release those buckles, you have a very simple, quiet access in and out of the
Fantastic.
pack.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a cool option. Additionally, so we have that big pocket in the lid.
Yep.
It's accessible from both the inside and the outside. So if you're, you know, digging for gear, you don't have to keep flipping your bag in and up, you know, open and close. You can
if you know your binos are on top, you don't have to open up your bag.
Right.
You can
access it from the inside.
Yeah.
The other thing too to point out is it actually creates a little shelf right here.
Okay.
Great spot. We were actually working with Jeff Simpson developing this bag.
Okay.
And one of the things that he was actually using this little shelf for was his release.
Oh, he just set it
So he
there.
could just set his release there. He knows where it is. So if, you know, a buck's coming in, just very carefully reach over.
It's over in his bag.
You know, it doesn't have to dig through a pocket. You know, it doesn't have to worry about it. He knows where it's at every single time. One of the other debates that we were kind of having internally, though, is how do you organize your gear? Because sometimes you have left-handed shooters, sometimes you have right-handed shooters. You have guys that are carrying different, you know, different kit. So we elected to go with Molly. You know, kind of on the upper of the bag, both on the outside as well as the inside. So that way guys could customize, you know, how they're actually utilizing their bag. We didn't want to dictate, you know, where you have pockets and what you're going to put in those pockets. We're like, no, you have your own system. Let's let you do that.
And then what can we do with this? What kind of add-ons are there? You say customizing. What options are there?
So we make, you know, a couple accessories that are all Molly attached.
Okay.
You know, it's a military system, so there's tons and tons of pockets out there on the market that, you know, can fit binoculars, you know, anything from flashlights to, you know, you could even get like a little Molly on kit for a kill kit, that kind of thing. So like you could put any of that stuff, you know, Molly it right on. Another thing that guys use these loops for is they actually will girth hitch their calls through the loops, and then they can put their calls down in the pocket. So if you get a breeze or a gust of wind or anything, they're not clacking together. So that's a good thing too. To gain entry to the bag itself, we can unclip those buckles. And they've got two zippers on the front here. We can go ahead and unzip those. And you can open the bag just like that.
And then why is it not opening all the way?
We included a rigid element on the front of the bag here, which prevents it from opening all the way. Because the last thing you want is to have a yard sale in the woods. You know? Yeah, and if you have some heavier items too, that can also create another little shelf.
Because I mean, you got that shelf here you were talking about, and then have another one there.
You know, and there's also another pocket in the back here. There's also a couple other smaller pockets right there. You know, again, you don't want to be twisting around your tree looking in your pack. You want to know where everything's right at. One of the other things to point out is typically the materials that we use on our packs are like a 500 denier Cordura. It's a really strong, great strength to weight ratio. So our packs can, you know, maintain kind of a weight conscious aspect, but be very durable. One of the problems with it though is it tends to be a little noisy. So if you're sitting in a tree and you're getting in and out of your bag, you can be creating a little bit too much noise. So one of the cool things that we were able to find is a different material. So for the interior of the bag, What a lot of companies are using are, for a quiet material, are, kind of a typical face fabric, but they'll actually abrade the surface.
Okay.
And that's where you get the pill and that, kind of soft texture and the quietness. But if you're abrading the surface, you're right off the bat decreasing the durability. So we were able to find a material that actually integrates a natural fiber. So instead of abrading the surface, it has a natural pill.
Okay, gotcha.
And that natural pill is what gives it the softness and the quietness.
Yeah, because this isn't loud by any means.
No.
And but to be that strong, it feels like it needs to be loud.
Right. So the outer is 500 denier Cordura, so you get that durability on the outside, but on the inside, when you're in and out, it's really nice and quiet.
Yeah, you can feel that too. For guys, I know you would be able to do it, pack in clothes.
Yeah.
Say somebody's wearing a big heavy jacket and bibs, they're going to pack it in. There's this guy, you can fit that stuff in there, but is there any way that we can put that on the outside of a bag, or is there a bag that has a space that we can put clothes, or if we're packing it in?
Yeah,
in
absolutely. I mean, like I said, we kind of have a broad range of packs. If you have really big bibs, one of the things that you could do is utilize that overload system.
So put it in between
the bag and the frame, on our external frame system. Another pack that's pretty cool that we're working on, new for this year, is the pop-up series. This is kind of neat. I mentioned the Fireline that we have some involvement with. This pack system was actually kind of derivative of that idea.
Okay.
It's actually on a frame that's similar to the, it's called the Initial Attack frame. It's a specific piece of kit for those guys. But it's also just like a really small bag. It's only 18 liters. It's pretty minimal. It's not cumbersome. It doesn't get in your way. But the cool thing about it is if you release a couple clips, you go straight into overload.
Okay. So then you can fit everything in between there.
Right.
Even as kind of a, a day pack.
Yeah.
That's not, you don't need that big of a bag.
Right.
If you're sitting in a tree stand for an afternoon.
So if you need to throw your bibs in there, you can throw it in that overload, compress it back to the frame system. And then when you're not using your bibs, it's not a big bulky bag.
Yeah. And then and then this looks like it.
That's how it gets its name.
Yeah.
So we call it the pop-up because we have another frame that tucks down inside here that we can lift up, and it actually seats itself and gives you that taller frame stay that you get with the external frames. So if you have a successful hunt and you need to pack the deer out, you can utilize this just like you would with an external overload frame.
Okay.
Or packing in camp, tree stands, again, bibs, anything like that.
You can, so this is rigid enough to put a tree stand behind?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
We've got really stiff, really thick-walled aluminum poles.
Okay.
They're actually 7,000 series aluminum poles. Most of your pack frames and tent poles are all 6,000, so they're a little bit softer. And we elected to go with a harder, stiffer pole. And it's not too brittle. It's kind of just like that right recipe of being
Goldilocks.
Nice and durable.
So we've got the whitetail idea covered, more or less. We're looking at that. Just quickly, kind of tell us, we don't have to go get them off the shelf or anything like that, but show us or tell us what we're looking for if we're looking for a Western pack.
Sure.
Probably the one on my back.
Yeah.
I can't see it, but
when it comes to Western hunting, you definitely have a checklist. Like, what kind of hunting are you going to be doing? Are you going to be mule deer hunting? Are you going to be elk hunting?
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing, or it's like, you start at the top of the list. Like, okay, I want to go do this. Next item is like, am I going to be hunting from the truck? Am I going to be going out for the day? Am I going to be doing overnights? Am I going to be doing, like a big, long sheep hunt? Am I going to be out there for 7 days at a time? A lot of that will dictate the size of your pack. The nice thing about Mystery Ranch packs is you can get a big pack or a smaller pack on the guide light frame, and it's all the same frame system. So they're all rated to carry the same load.
Oh, okay. So can I change the bag, the actual pack off of the frame?
Absolutely.
So I don't have a basement full of frames?
It's something we're doing this year, is we're actually selling the Pentler, which is one of the bags that I showed you earlier, as well as another new bag, the Mule, which is just a small day pack. We're selling those as bag-only options.
Oh, awesome.
So you can get into a big expedition-sized bag, and then you can also get into one of the smaller bags without buying a complete new system.
And then you don't need, like I said, a basement full of frames.
Right.
You need one frame.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any questions from anybody, Marina?
A little bit of question about, like, is there a certain weight limit or something you can put in there? Like, how much weight can you expect to carry?
We haven't really found the breaking point. You know, traditionally, you know, like, I'm a weenie. I can only handle like one elk quarter at a time.
Okay.
And that frame will perform like 100% to that. We've put more weight in it and we've carried it around for short periods of time. I get tired before the frame does. You know, and the frame is carbon, so there, you know, there are some brittle aspects to it. Like, you know, if it's in a precarious spot and it's, you know, full of a lot of heavy weight and it falls off, you know, a 20-foot cliff or something, you might.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah. But as far as like, you know, typical wear and tear, and you know, any reasonable loads that you're actually going to be willing to carry, like you personally might be willing to carry, it should be able to handle it like, you know, heads and shoulders above the rest.
Okay. And as far as that goes on that aspect, I guess probably wrapping up here, warranty-wise, hunters beat the heck out of their bags.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
What are we going to look for from Mr.
all of our
Ranch?
bags are covered by a lifetime warranty.
All right.
One of the cool things that Mr. Ranch does is we have a repair department at our shop in Bozeman.
Oh, okay.
So if you damage your pack or have anything happen to it, the majority of the time, if you send that pack to us, we'll fix it.
Okay.
And we'll send that pack back to you. We're not going to replace it with a different product. We're not going to give you a replacement pack. We're going to take your pack, we're going to fix what's wrong with it, and we're going to send that back to you.
Okay. So that's smart on both ends. I mean, you guys aren't just giving out warranty packs and then have a pile full of
And you know, it's actually
refurbs.
something that Dana's been doing for a long time, and something that gets really reinforced by that military heritage.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
You know, because when guys are on deployment, they're living out of their backpacks. And when they send it in for repair, they don't want a new shiny one. They want their old,
they want their
beat
one
up,
that's broken in.
they want that pack back.
Good deal.
So that's something that we
That's awesome. That's really
carry
cool.
on to our our customers, you know, through hunting, outdoor, fire, same thing for everybody.
Fantastic. Well, Facebook, we're done here with Mystery Ranch. We're really excited as a shop to take a look at these packs, see what we can provide you guys, what Mystery Ranch can provide you guys in the tree stand or on foot out west. So thanks, Alex. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to working with Mystery Ranch. We'll see you guys in a little bit with Kennetrek Boots.